Hello, everyone. It's lovely to see so many of you here. As always, I always look forward to this every week. It's always really lovely to see you guys. We're talking about fibre today. I don't think I've actually ever done a call on fibre in, the couple of years that I've been doing this. And I realized that and I thought, fibre is such a buzzword at the moment. Like for a long time, it was protein, 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 as we know. And it still is. Like protein is still very much considered like the buzzword, the thing. There's a lot of talk about fiber now. Fiber is a buzzword. So I want to talk to you guys about that. And if you guys are like, obviously, I know what fiber is, I don't know how to get more of it, don't know a lot about it, I want to teach you guys about it today. Obviously, I'm not a nutritionist, I have nutrition qualifications, but I'm a personal trainer first and foremost. So I don't know everything about fiber. I try to learn as much as I can. And being plant-based, being vegan, is actually something that I'm quite keen on and I quite like because I'm really into that sort of stuff because I'm a nerd or a bit of a loser, I guess, on that sort of front. I find it really interesting. So I know some stuff and I want to share it with you, but I don't know everything. So if you guys do have questions, feel free to ask me and I'll do my best to answer them. Anything else, I can do a bit more research. But talking all about fiber today, and most importantly, because all of you guys, obviously, all of you here are on a weight loss journey, talking about why it's probably the weight loss nutrient that you are missing, or not missing, just not thinking about very much, which is a very normal thing and a very common thing. So I want to teach you guys about it today and most importantly, show you how focus on eating more fiber can help you feel fuller, reduce your cravings, and make weight loss easier, which is fantastic, right? We want this to be as easy as possible. We want this journey to be as easy as possible. Focusing on fiber is a really good way to help you get there. So, most people, when they think about fat loss, and this isn't wrong, usually what we focus on is calories, protein, and workouts. We talk about this a lot. I know that I talk about this to all of you guys individually a lot. Of course, these three things are very important parts of the fat loss process. But very few people, I think very few coaches, very few people in general think about or talk about fiber. I think it's getting a little bit more talked about now. Like I said, it is becoming a bit more of a buzzword, but I still think it's left out of the conversation quite a lot. But fiber could be the missing piece of your puzzle that is making fat loss feel much harder than it needs to be, which is a good thing because hopefully after this call, you guys can think, oh, there's some things I can do here to make this even easier for myself. So before we dive in and talk a bit more about it, some common myths about fiber, really. First thing is, oh, you only really need to focus on fiber if you're constipated. I remember when I was younger, like thinking about, oh, people eating, I just used to think about old people eating like bran flakes or something. And I was like, oh yeah, it's because they're old and they need more fiber and they've got problems with their with the digestion. Not true at all. It's really important, no matter who you are, no matter what age you are. It's really important for fullness. It's really important for your gut health, which we're going to talk about a bit as well. Your heart health, and just appetite regulation. These are all really important things to think about. Second thing is, oh, I'm going low carb, and that means I need to avoid high fiber foods. Low carb is not something that is necessary for most of us. I say most of us. For some people, if you're someone that is dealing with some sort of insulin sensitivity, so if anybody here has PCOS or PMOS, obviously it's now been updated to be called PMOS. If you guys suffer from something like that, or things when we talk about like any health conditions that may be to do with insulin sensitivity, you might need to be someone that's on slightly lower carb. But for pretty much all of you here, that's not the case for you guys. So low carb isn't really something we need to be doing anyway, and that's still a bit of a myth. That's still a bit of a just a diet industry marketing thing. Like first of all, it was fat's the enemy a few years ago. Oh, if you eat fat, you're going to be fat. That was the thing that was spread around and is not true. Then it became, oh, actually, carbs make you fat. Carbs are the enemy. Neither of these things are true. So, like I said, unless you have a specific health condition, you don't need to do low carb. But anyway, many of the healthiest foods out there that are good for weight loss are naturally super high in fiber. So this is also a misconception. The final thing, oh, I take a fiber supplement, so I'm covered. Now, supplements can really help. And if you're someone that has a situation or a diet where you need to have a fiber supplement. Let's say you're someone that is maybe you would describe yourself as a slightly fussy eater, for example. You don't really like things that are really fibrous. You're not very keen on fruit and veg and all that sort of stuff. A fiber supplement could really help you, but supplements will help massively, but there is nothing that can replace whole foods. Going right for the whole natural, real food source that provides so many more vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients that supplements don't, and supplements simply can't, no matter how good their marketing is. So, what actually is fiber? I'm not going to patronize you guys and pretend that you don't know what it is. I'm sure you guys do know what it is, at least to some extent, but we'll go through it anyway, just in case. Fiber is a type of carbohydrate, but it's a type of carb that your body cannot fully digest. So instead of being fully broken down for energy, some of it's broken down for energy, but it actually travels all the way through your digestive system, supports your gut health, and keeps you full. Fiber isn't something to avoid. is something to actively include. And it's absolutely game changing for your gut health and for your digestion for that reason, because it goes all the way through you without being gross. So the reason why fiber is so good for fat loss specifically as well, which is obviously super helpful for you guys to know, lots of different things. Fiber keeps you fuller for longer, first of all, which is great. Combined with protein, it's a game changer. It slows down your digestion, which is also really good when you are dieting. It promotes gut health and it promotes having more and a more diverse gut microbiome, which is game changing. We'll talk about this more in a second, but there has been so many studies done over the last few years showing a direct correlation between how easy it is and how fast it is for someone to lose weight versus their gut health. So the more gut microbiome or the better gut microbiome someone had, or the better gut health, the more gut biodiversity they had, the more steady and the faster that person was able to lose weight. It's really crazy. And there's a really big direct correlation. That is a big reason why it's so important for fat loss as well. It helps reduce unnecessary snacking as well, because, like I said, it's really good for digestion, it's really good for fullness, helps manage your cravings, which is also wonderful. And as a result, it makes staying in a calorie deficit feel much easier. This is why I really wanted to talk about this today, because, like I said, I don't think many people talk about this, and it is a really important thing. The easier your calorie deficit feels, the more likely you're going to stick with it, right? Which is such a big game changer. So that is why, kind of like, summed up why it's so good for weight loss and why it's something we want to be thinking about. The science of it made simple. So imagine eating a chocolate bar, roughly about 200 calories, or a big bowl of oats with berries and yogurt, which is going to be around 350 calories. Yes, the yogurt bowl is and the oats are going to be a bit more higher calorie, but anyway, which one is likely to keep us full for the next few hours? Obviously, we all know the bowl of oats is going to keep you more full. That is because it is much higher in fiber compared to the chocolate bar. Slows the digestion, physically takes up more space in your stomach, takes longer for you to digest it, which means more fullness and fewer cravings later. So that's it made really simple. Fiber is also going to help with more than just weight loss, though. As you guys know, I know that all of you guys are here for predominantly weight loss, but the main thing that I care about, and I know that a lot of you guys really care about, is yes, you want to lose weight, but a lot of the time, the reason why you're wanting to lose weight is because you want to boost your health. You want to be living as pain-free and as injury-free and as illness-free for as long as possible. Thinking about longevity, keeping up with your kids, living an independent and healthy lifestyle for as long as possible. When we start to think about getting older, focusing on our health and our longevity is also a really big thing, I know, for a lot of you guys, myself included. This is why I do this. I think I said this on the call last week. Like, I first got into the gym when I was like 21 because I was like, I want a six pack and big glutes. Nothing wrong with that. But that's where I started and that's what I really pushed for. Now that I'm a bit older, I'm 28, nearly 30, that has changed for me. Like, yes, a part of my physical appearance is partly to do with why I do what I do, why I go to the gym, why I take care of myself, and why I eat well. But now it's really shifted for me, and it's about, oh, actually, I want to feel fit and strong and healthy and independent for as long as physically possible. I want to be able to live well, live without illness, without injury for as long as possible. So this is why I really want to talk to you guys about fiber as well, because it helps with more than just weight loss. So eating enough fiber is going to help improve your digestion, reduce constipation, which is great, feeds the healthy bacteria in your gut, like we just talked about with your gut microbiome, supports stable energy levels, improves your cholesterol, and it just supports long-term heart health as well. It is something really vital to think about, not just in the now for your weight loss, but also if you think about your longevity and your whole lifespan, about how this is going to put you in the best chance of living a life that is hopefully healthy, happy, illness-free, pain-free, independent for as long as possible. Fat loss, I want you to think of it by boosting your fiber. Think of fat loss kind of as the bonus and your health being the bigger picture. That's what I really care about more than anything for myself, but for you guys as well. And I know a lot of you guys feel the same. So, how much fiber should you aim for? A good daily target is 30 grams a day. That's what the sort of, I think the government guidelines are. But, even if you were hitting kind of like 35, 40 a day, that is only going to be more beneficial for you. But 30 grams a day is considered like a really solid, good, healthy amount to be regularly hitting. Most adults in the UK are only eating around 15 to 20 a day. And that means that many people are missing out on the benefits and possibly not feeling as good as or as healthy as they possibly could. A lot of reasons for this. I think living the lives that we often do, like modern life is so busy now. I think a lot of convenience foods and things, which there's nothing wrong with, by the way. A lot of us are reaching for those convenience foods and things like that. But what I think the problem is actually the kind of food industry and the food standards in the UK itself. Like, the things that are often the grab on the go choice are normally more ultra processed, are normally not very high in fiber at all. And I think that's a big reason why we're not getting as much fiber as we should do. It means that many people are missing out on the benefits. But what I don't want you guys to think now is, oh my God, I must now, if I'm having like 10, 15 grams a day, I don't want you to now think I've got to go and hit 30. Don't worry about making it perfect overnight. I just want you to focus on if you are around that lower end, 15, 20, maybe even a bit less, no shame. Just aim to gradually increase it over the next few weeks. So the best high fiber foods, the best ones. There are others, but these are the ones that I kind of thought of off the top of my head. So fruit, first of all, any fruit is good. I'm not going to say, oh, don't eat bananas. They're not high enough in fiber. Like all fruit is good, right? But these ones particularly are very high. Raspberries or any kind of berry really are really fibrous. Pears, apples, oranges, and kiwi, super, super high. Vegetables, these are your more sort of like starchy, crunchy sort of veg that often have like the skins on and things. So broccoli, carrots, sweet corn, Brussels sprouts, peas, all super high. Whole grains, oats, wholemeal or brown bread, whole wheat pasta, brown rice, any kinds of beans and pulses. And by that, I mean things like butter beans, kidney beans, black-eyed beans, pinto beans, all that sort of stuff. Lentils, amazing, green, red, whatever color you fancy. Chickpeas, also really great. Kidney beans and black beans, like I said, anything like that. Split peas as well. You can even go a bit more rogue if you're going to the sort of more like really kind of like plant-based sort of route. Lots of grains such as like bulgur wheat, quinoa, pearl barley, couscous, whole grain couscous, all that sort of stuff is going to be really fibrous as well. Other great sources, chia seeds. Oh my God. I think chia seeds, if you're someone right now that maybe struggles with digestion, you wish your digestion was a bit better. I full transparency, have had quite a lot of issues with my stomach this year. It basically started around the same time that I lost my dad, which is absolutely no coincidence, right? I think kind of the the difficult time that I went through and the stress that I went through, I was having a lot of stomach pain and my digestion was really terrible. I tried quite a few things. I tried some probiotics, which did help to an extent. But one thing that I did is I made a really conscious effort to include more chia seeds into my diet. I have chia seeds every day. The best thing to have with chia seeds is you want to make sure that they're soaked. So either mix them in your yogurt or mix them in oats and leaving them overnight so that they can expand. When chia seeds expand, that's when they have the most fiber and the most nutrition. Also have amazing omega-3 fatty acids, which is just great for us too. It's better to have them when they've been soaked and they've expanded rather than dry, if you can. But I started including a tablespoon a day regularly, and I am pretty confident that doing that has massively helped my gut health and massively helped my gut microbiome. Also, my skin. I was suffering with my skin quite a bit, and I did take a supplement for that. But I'm very convinced that chia seeds are just an absolute powerhouse. Obviously, I can't prove that. Like I said, not a nutritionist, but I know that chia seeds are super high in fiber and super good for you. And if you are someone maybe right now listening to this call where you're like, oh, I wish my digestion was better, or I'm going through a bit of discomfort, try adding in a tablespoon of chia seeds a day and tell me how you get on because it has been a game changer for me. Without waffling on too much, other things that are really good, flax seeds are amazing. Popcorn is really good. And potatoes, especially with the skin on. Potato, sweet potato, purple sweet potato, whatever it might be. Especially with the skin on, because that skin has got a lot of the fibrous content in there as well. All of this stuff is pretty basic stuff, right, that you can get in any supermarket. Also, none of this stuff is too expensive. All of this stuff is super affordable and stuff that you can add in pretty easily. So these are really good things to start including. Easy ways, now that I've told you what's good and what's high in fiber, easy ways to eat more. So you do not need a complete diet overhaul. You never need to completely overhaul anything, at least not when you're in this program with us, because that overhaul just creates overwhelm and feels unsustainable. Instead, start to just think about some simple swaps. So if you often have white bread right now, nothing wrong with any of these foods, by the way. I'm not demonizing them. It's just how can we get the fiber content up and make weight loss easier for you guys and also just boost your overall health. White bread to wholemeal bread, easy swap. If you quite often have sugary cereal in the morning, maybe we swap that out for some porridge oats. Like I said about the chia seeds, if you have a yogurt bowl right now, maybe we just mix in some chia seeds and let them expand, easily getting in way more fiber there. Adding beans or lentils to meals that are already being made. Let's say if you're meal prepping something like a bolognese or a curry or something, you can buy tinned beans or tinned lentils that are pre-cooked. So you literally just have to whack them out of the tin, throw them in. Takes no extra prep time. You're going to get a little bit more protein in there, but way more fiber, which is awesome. Focus on adding an extra portion of veg to your lunch or to your dinner or to your breakfast. Put some more fruit in there or something. all of this stuff. Instead of always reaching for a processed snack, again, nothing wrong with reaching for something like a protein bar or a protein yogurt, not at all. But maybe instead of always reaching for that, maybe we add in a piece of fruit. These small swaps that feel small in the moment and feel insignificant, they really add up. Before you know it, you could boost your fiber content by like 5 to 10 grams a day if you make these swaps. One thing I want to make really clear though is if you are someone that wants to increase their fiber, you think you need to push up close to that 30 gram a day guideline, increase it slowly. One mistake that people make very often is they suddenly go from very little fiber to just loads overnight. They up it by like 15, 20 grams overnight. This can cause a lot of problems with digestion, even though it's really good for you. Just because your body's going through such a big change and it's not used to it, you can often get really bloated, you can get super constipated, or you can just have a really uncomfortable stomach. So just bear in mind, aim to increase it gradually over a few week period. If you want guidance with that, message me and I can help you. But don't feel like, oh, I'm going to go from 10 grams a day to 30 because you probably are going to have a really upset stomach for a few days. If you are going to do this, increase it over a few weeks and just make sure that you really drink a lot of water, like 2.5 liters a day minimum. The fiber and the water work really well together. So just make sure you're also doing that for your digestion. So protein and fiber is the dream team. I always say if protein is considered like the king of weight loss and the king of fat loss when it comes to nutrition, fiber is the queen. They are the dream team together. Protein helps you stay full, it helps you build muscle, it helps you recover, it reduces cravings. Fiber does all of that. It also helps you to stay full and it also boosts your gut health, which is great for weight loss, great for your health. So they are really a match made in heaven. And together they make fat loss dramatically easier. What I want you to start thinking about with every meal, I always say to you guys with your protein, start to think, what's my protein source first of all? Don't think, oh, I'm having pasta for dinner or I'm having maybe like a curry or something. Think, what's my protein choice first of all? Then from that, what's going to be my fiber choice? Is it going to be that you're having breakfast and you're going to put some oats in there and some chia seeds or some flax seeds? Is it that you're having your lunch and you're going to have whole grain bread? Or is it for your dinner that you're going to prepare a curry and actually you're going to put some lentils in there with it? If you've got both in there pretty regularly for most of your meals, you are giving yourself the best chance of staying really satisfied between meals and also losing weight as fast as possible. So, building a fiber friendly plate as well. This is the plate technique. So, when you're thinking of building your meals, if you're someone that's like, I know I need to include more protein and fiber now, but how do I start? Like, how do I actually build the meal? And it's confusing to me. I'm going to break it down for you in a really simple way. So, an easy way to build the majority of your meals when you're trying to lose weight: half your plate, fill it with a lean protein source. That can be anything, depending on what diet you have: chicken, tuna, beef, pork, tofu, eggs, whatever it might be. Fill half your plate with a lean protein source. I then want you to pick a high fiber carbohydrate. So oats, a whole grain, some sort of bean, potatoes, anything like that. Focus on filling a quarter of your plate with a really great high fiber carb. Then add in a fat sauce. That should be another quarter of your plate. That could be anything. That could be some avocado. That can be a little bit of cooking oil that you might have cooked the lean protein or the carb in. That could be nuts, nut butters, anything like that. And then think of adding lots of veg on top and then adding a piece of fruit throughout your day. If you can do that for the majority of your meals, that is super simple. You'll be covering all bases. So just think of that plate technique. And I've put here the 80-20 rule, which is a really good philosophy to have when you are thinking about your nutrition generally anyway. And when it comes to weight loss, I want you to focus on 80% of your meals throughout the week being high protein, balanced with good fiber, carbs, fats, lots of fruit, lots of veg, 80% of your week. But the other 20%, make sure you are including your favorite things. That could be if you enjoy to have a beer or a glass of wine or some chocolate, or if you're going out for a meal or something on the weekend once a week. 20% of your week, do make sure that you're not worrying so much about this stuff and you actually are just including stuff that you really love and you really enjoy eating. If you can have that abundant mindset with your nutrition where nothing is off limits, it's just the majority of your week, you're going to make the smarter choice, which is going to keep weight loss as easy for you as possible. The other 20%, pure enjoyment. That really matters when you're dieting. And even when you're not, it's a good thing to live by. So, your challenge this week, for the next 7 days, I want you guys to aim to increase your fiber intake by 5 grams or so. Like I said, nothing drastic, because I don't want you guys all going, something about my fiber in my stomach's an absolute agony. You have been warned. Aim to increase it by about 5 grams or so a day. Add in an extra portion of fruit each day. Add an extra portion of veg to your lunch and your dinner. Swap out one refined carb for a whole grain option. Chuck some flax seeds or some chia seeds or something in there. If you have potatoes, keep the skins on. Start to make a small swap and a small addition like that. And if you can do that gradually over the next coming few weeks, this process can be much easier for you. That is everything I wanted to go through, guys. I hope this has been really helpful. And like I said, I've not done a call on Fibre before, so I was actually really excited to do this. If you have any questions for me at all on this, if there's anything still not making sense, if you want some help specifically on how to include some more fibre, please drop me a message on WhatsApp. Drop me a message. I can talk you through. I can help you out with it. But this is a really good thing to start thinking of. And hopefully, you guys watching this now know more about fibre and realize that it's not so overwhelming as you might think, including more. And it can be done with the foods that you're already having. It's just about boosting the food you're already having and making some slightly better choices. So well done, guys. I'm going to let you all go. This call will be uploaded onto YouTube for those of you that couldn't make it live, but it's been great to see you all here. And I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Well done.